Lost all the passengers.
Great. Goodbye though.
Canterbury Cathedral. Sweet, see ya. Okay, so my name's Craig. I'll be the guide, the captain, the engine. Any questions, anytime, just ask. Some health and safety before we begin. Don't stand up. If you stand up, we all fall in. If you do fall in, don't worry. It's not very deep. If you do fall in, just stand up. The bridges, some of them are very low, so just mind your heads and just keep your hands, your feet, your phones inside the boat. Don't want to drop a phone in the water. You can't get back.
So we cannot swim.
No, I wouldn't recommend it.
You cannot swim.
I think if you swim in here, you'll get a strange rash. Probably the farmers like to dump chemicals in the river sometimes, but I didn't tell you. So this is the first bridge, the King's Bridge, named after Henry II. So this part is an extension to the original, done in 1769, but this part was built in 1134, so 900 years old, pretty much. You can touch it as well. Just mind your head.
Non tirare gli amici, Oddio. Madonna. Spiders.
Yes.
No, non me lo dire.
Full of spiders.
This is actually the better tunnel. The other tunnel has about 100 or more spiders. 100, 200 spiders.
What the fuck?
Yeah, this is the good one. So now we're going under a building called the East Bridge Hospital. It's not a medical hospital, it's a place for hospitality. A place for hospitates. Hospitate means guest in Latin.
Yeah.
So you could walk from Rome to Canterbury and stay at these hospitals along the way. This one, the East Bridge Hospital, was built in 1180 and then extended over the river in 1796. So you get a free bed and a free meal. The bed would be a sack of hay, which is why we say hitting the sack or hitting the hay before bed. And the meal would be like gruel, like porridge. That tunnel is full of spiders.
The other one.
Yeah,
We go there.
No. Luckily, the boat doesn't go there. It's too big. So if you go at 11 p.m, the spiders, they hang down and they hunt in the water.
Yeah, that's perfect on Halloween.
Yeah. Come back for Halloween.
We'll come back.
On Halloween. One more. Hi! We just checked round the corner.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So how long have you been in Canterbury?
1 day.
Do you leave today or tomorrow?
Today.
Today. You go back to London?
Yeah.
How about you?
A few hours, yeah.
2 hours, yeah. And
It's about
same?
Yeah.
Did anyone go to the cathedral yet?
No.
Did you see Thomas Becket? St. Thomas Becket.
Probably, but I don't know
So
where.
the crypt, like the basement,
Yeah.
at the entrance there's 3 swords hanging.
Yes.
And it's where this guy was killed. So Thomas Becket was the Archbishop of Canterbury, and he was fighting the king politically. They were having a lot of disagreements and arguments, and one day the King Henry II, he's drunk, and he shouts to the court, "Who's going to rid me of this troublesome priest?" And the knights in his court think that this is an instruction. So they ride from France to Canterbury and they kill the Archbishop in the cathedral. So this makes him a martyr, and martyr's blood known for giving you miracles. So the monks, they mop up the blood and they keep it in a pot, and when they're sick they rub it on the forehead or they drink it for healing. And one of the monks, he records 700 miracles from this blood. So the Pope makes him a saint, and then tens of thousands of people come to try and get their own miracle. And so that's why Canterbury was so important and why we had to build places like the East Bridge Hospital. Yeah. They say that you could cure your blindness, or you could regrow your limbs back with his blood. So try it. If it works, let me know. I'm skeptical. There's about
Where are you from?
I grew up about half an hour from here, in a small village called Lower House Road. We're sitting on. Yeah, so this is like the closest city to my home.
Yeah. It's smaller or?
Say that again?
It's a small village or?
Yeah, tiny, like probably 500 people, something like that. In the school,
Very quiet.
from ages 4 to 11, we had 120 children. Yeah, in the whole school. So tiny. But normally I live in Thailand. And then-
Thailand?
yeah, I've been in Thailand for 7 years. And then I needed some money, so I came home and I got this job. But I only work in the summer, so in the winter I can go back to Thailand.
Oh, that's great, man.
Yeah. And then in Thailand, I have my own tour company. I take people in the jungle, and we go to visit like tribal villages. Yeah, don't worry. I've done this before.
Yeah.
So we take people to like tribes in the jungle that don't have electricity to see the real way of life out there. Yeah. So you get away from the hotels and resorts and stuff. But
That's a good contact if you come to Thailand.
yeah, if you come, let me know. There's a little moorhen in there.
Oh.
You should see some more. And then this is one of your people, Saint Francis of Assisi.
Francesco d'Assisi.
Yes. Yeah. So he sent some friars, some like monks here in 1224, and he sent them to Oxford. But when they arrived in Dover, no one believed that they were holy men, because in that time the priests in England were very rich, and the Franciscans took a vow of poverty, so they didn't look like priests to us. So we were going to hang them from a tree. And luckily, one of them, he took his rope, his girdle from his waist and said, if you're going to hang me with my rope. He's that confident. That scares the local people, so they let them go, and they come to Canterbury, and King Henry III gives them this island and this whole area to build a friary, a monastery. That is here for probably about 400 years, 500 years, until the reign of, about 400 years, until the reign of Henry VIII.
Yeah.
So Henry VIII, famous English king, big ginger beard, belly, 6 wives.
Yeah.
He wanted to divorce his first wife. The Pope said no. So he's very calm, rational, reasonable man, creates his own religion. Makes himself the leader of the religion and says, I can get a divorce now, it's my religion. So in the process, he also passes a law, the dissolution of the monasteries. This allows him to destroy all the Catholic buildings, take all of the money and the wealth. And that's what happens here. So there were 7 buildings here. Now, just this one at the end, which should. See if we can position ourselves better. Can everyone see this building?
Just about.
If you can't see it now, you'll see it when we
It's fine, yeah.
turn. Now, this building was also a bridge. In England, if you destroy a bridge, you have to pay for a new one. Henry didn't want to pay. So this is the only Franciscan building in the country
Oh.
for that reason. So we're lucky Henry was a cheap man. Yeah, so you see it goes across the river there. Now, unfortunately, they close at 4:30, but usually you can go inside and look around afterwards. So now we turn around, we go down through to the end of the canal. Up there is mostly just like houses and stuff. Just mind your head under this bridge.
Faccio un po' di video per papà e mamma.
Saranno dormiti.
Did anyone see the name of the river?
No.
So it's called the River Stour. Comes from a German word, an old German word, Stour, which means stubborn or angry. So this was a very dangerous river in the past, obviously. So the Anglo-Saxons, when they arrived in England, they would write Stour on their map to warn this is a dangerous, angry river. Later people saw that and thought it was the name. So now there's 5 River Stours in England. The most common name though is the River Avon, and Avon is a Celtic word that means river. So it's literally the river. Very creative. Hi. So you see the pipes, the river was a sewer. So it would have the toilets, factories, everything coming into this river until about 200 years ago. We stopped using it as a toilet and it cleaned itself because it's a chalk bed river. Very rare to have chalk in the bed of a river. Very common in England though. So the chalk will naturally filter the river, and so we just needed to leave it alone and it cleans itself. There's about 100 species of wildlife in here. So we saw the moorhen, the pigeons, ducks, swans, fish like pike, trout, eels, about a metre long. Yeah, freshwater eels. Sometimes we see them. Yeah.
You do fish and chips with that? Or?
I can't imagine an eel for stew. Could jelly the eel. Yeah. Did you see jellied eels in London? Oh, do you know how they make it? Jellied eels.
Don't think I've ever even heard of it, to be honest.
Oh, so jellied eels, it's like they get the freshwater eel and then they like boil it and its own like fat and everything comes out, and so it's in jelly, but the jelly is its own body, its own fats and things. Yeah, it's very popular in the East End of London in like the previous century, not anymore. Hi! Yeah, we can't fit in that one, so we're going to avoid the spiders like hell.
Cosa? Piccione.
Just mind your head, and your head.
No, non scegli.
No, non me lo dico.
Io appena mi sono accorto che c'era una
No, non me lo dico. Sì, ma piccione lì.
No, bellissimo perché se lui vola via fa un casino.
So up here where the LEDs are, where the pigeons party, you can look up inside in the Eastbridge Hospital. See up in the building there.
If you look at the sneak peek, this is the oldest bridge you've travelled through. Not this outer section. This is the middle part there is about 900 years old. So do mind your eyes when we travel through. So mind your eyes, should be alright, but it's been 900 years, so no major accidents.
Sta cascando.
So this building here is 500 years old on the inside, but this outside is only about 150 years old. Essentially, they gave it a facelift when they invented cameras. People take photos from the river. They want it to look more beautiful, so they painted it, and all of this wood is all just a facade.
Okay. Just to look nice.
Yeah.
It look nice.
It does. Yeah. It's the second most photographed building in Canterbury.
We survived.
We're still here.
Well done!
We still got half the.
It's still long.
Paid to sit here, by the way.
Let's see. It's still long.
So if you look at the back, you can see they didn't do the back because no one was going to take photos from them.
Oh yeah. Pretty smart.
Yeah. It's the first marketing
Spending review.
strategy in Canterbury. If you look at this building, this is more genuine in contrast.
Is it usual to have this weather here?
No, this is very un-British. Yeah, this is not very British at all, this one. I suppose this is more normal in Italy. Yeah, lucky you. Yeah, very. So this is Pizza Express, built by the Romans. No, not really. So this was a forge, a blacksmith, in the English Civil War in the 17th century. So they make swords here, repair armour, and they make horseshoes and things. So this door, unfortunately not for takeaway pizza. This door is where you would take the sword from the fire and then quench it in the water to harden the steel. Make it stronger in battle.
Crazy.
And during the Second World War, we took the windows from the cathedral and buried them in the basement in sand to protect them from the bombs. So now if you go to the cathedral, you can still see the stories. They didn't write down the order of the stories though. So originally they're all in the wrong order. For example, there's a sick man and St. Thomas appears and the man is healed. But instead we had a healthy man, St. Thomas appears and now he's sick. Nowadays they fixed it. So if you go today, you'll be in the right order. This bridge also hit by a bomb, so it was built or rebuilt in the 1950s. Has a very nice echo. You can sing for me if anyone has a song.
Yeah, we have a singer.
Who's a singer?
Yeah, she's a singer. What? Who's a singer, that? You can do a duo. What can I sing?
Don't worry, we'll go to the
Che
bottom. Come back.
confusione. No, but I'm not a good singer.
So if no one else will sing, I will sing.
Next one is on you, huh?
It's the Marlow Theatre, much younger than every other building. Built in 2011. I think it's ugly. Some people like it.
Very honest.
Yeah. I don't know anyone that likes it, but some people do.
It's modern. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very modern. It breaks the law every day. Point at the top. You're not allowed to build more than half the height of the cathedral. It breaks the law by 2 meters.
Crazy.
The reason is so they can change scenes very quickly in plays and musicals. So any West End play that you could see, any famous musical, you can see them here, and it's the smallest, most intimate theatre that you can see them.
Do you know what the capacity is?
1,200. And the seats are made of leather from Ferrari. So it's the slowest you can go in a Ferrari seat. Yeah, this is the best one. Yeah, good. So this is like a building that was hit by a bomb. They're more modern here. These 2 buildings were used by the Blackfriars in the 13th century, in the 1200s, used by the Blackfriars. The Blackfriars very big in Europe for hunting witches and heretics. They wrote a book on hunting witches called Malleus Maleficarum. It means the witch's hammer. It has instructions on how to identify a witch and then what to do with her. For example, anyone have green eyes? Green witch. Witch. Anyone red hair? Just me. Witch. Black cat. Ladies, can you read? Very suspicious. So you're all witches. You safe. So yeah, they would hunt witches. They unfortunately did kill a lot of innocent people. In England, not so much hunting witches. They were more like academics, theologians, very closely tied to Oxford and Cambridge. If you're the king, you confess your sins to the Blackfriars, so they have a lot of power and influence. They would try to help you to be a just king and rule with reason. Doesn't work often, but they tried. Yeah, so the Blackfriars would use this park to grow apples and pears, and then they would make cider for everyone. Because the water was too dirty to drink, it was safer to drink beer and cider. So from the age of 2, you would go from breast to beer for the rest of your life. And then some people we keep trying to get back. So the park's open to the public for 900 years.
There's a pretty long story, you see.
Yeah, we do. We've got like they give us a training book, pages and pages and pages of stories, and there's more than you can. There's more than you can give, so you can like change it, so you can like answer questions and stuff. Yeah, yes, really a lot of interesting stories.
Like Venice gondola.
Yeah. I think Venice is probably better.
I've never been there. So,
Where in Italy are you from?
from Florence.
Florence. I'd love to go to Florence.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. I've read books that were based in Florence. It's always been in my mind.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Signore dietro.
Fatto un po' di cono? No, questo non mi piace. Signore che
No, è bellino.
Signore scusa.
Signore dietro è quello.
Signore scusa. Sono avanzato. Qualcuno mi piace.
La vendita non
Sì. Questa è una buona idea. Per
deve arrivare fino alle 6.
Ci siamo, eh?
Io ritorno alle 7 con lui. Ci siamo alle 7:55.
Solo te?
Io direi una bella birra che si fa. In un parco.
Ci manca la bottega di Canterbury.
Secondo me non abbiamo visto niente, ma ma è TikTok mi ha dato risposte lì. Sì. Alla fine è questo.
C'è GPT che dice.
Dopo esce lei.
So these gates are about 200 years old. Built in 1829. Help us manage the level of the river. If we open every gate, this will be dry in 20 minutes.
Crazy.
There's 6 under the water that are huge, and they're open with this mechanism here. So there's a man from the council who cranks it. And yeah, very busy during the winter. Not so much now.
Varying degrees.
So left or right? No. It's just...
Come si dice cascata in inglese?
Waterfall.
There's a waterfall there.
It's the sound from the gates here, and then here there's another gate there,
Ah, okay.
and then here it goes down because there would be a water wheel here
Okay.
where the 2 poles are.
Yeah, for the electricity.
Yeah, like a factory.
Yeah.
So it'd be a mill grinding wheat into flour.
Okay.
So this was the biggest employer in the city factory, built in the 1100s, and it employed 25% of the people in Canterbury. Until 1933, someone came in smoking a cigarette, set the flour on fire, and set the whole building on fire. The building covered the whole area, the island, the bridge, everything. And it was 50 meters tall, 100 feet tall, 7 stories, fire burned for 3 days.
So there isn't, there's nothing anymore about that one.
Just those towers and this wooden block here.
Okay.
The man sitting here. So the fire burned for 3 days, and then it jumped on the pub, set the pub on fire, and they stopped trying to save the factory and just saved the pub instead. The pub's connected to all the houses, so they saved the houses.
Yeah.
So the pub's called the Miller's Arms. So the Millers, it's like the Millers Club, the Millers Guild. This is where they'd come to collect their salary. So their boss would pay them in beer and cider. You get maybe a few pennies and then you get 10 pints of beer. We're just going to touch the island quickly. Just a second. See, on the pub, one of the windows has been filled in.
Yeah.
So this was to avoid tax. We had a very progressive tax system. The more windows you have, the more tax you pay. So people just bricked up their windows.
Makes sense.
Eventually, it meant that the poor did not get enough light or fresh air, so they had to change the law.
Okay.
They changed the law to be your chimneys. How many chimneys you have? So then people would take out their chimneys and then the buildings would collapse. In Canterbury, we've got 2 buildings you can see. They're moving because they took the chimney out and it's weakened the structure.
Is one of them a bookshop?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I passed it earlier.
Yeah. It's got the Dickens quote above the door. Yeah. So that's what happened there. Yeah. Now there's like steel structures in there and stuff.
Right.
Capito? Avevamo le ciminiere.
Quindi rimanevano visto dove c'era prima libreria, era storta perché levavano le ciminiere,
Chi pagava doveva pagare tasse per quanti ciminiere avevano, quindi le pagavano. Mica tanto. Cosa?
Ah no, non è
Se la riempio di l'acqua, non dico.
magari beccano anche un'anguilla. Ragno, jelly.
So we spoke about Thomas Becket and we spoke about Henry VIII. So their stories cross. Thomas Becket was the most popular saint in England, and Henry didn't want anyone to challenge him as the head of the church. So Thomas was a Catholic, which was a problem for Henry. So he tried to summon his ghost to court for a trial to be proven as a heretic, a fake Christian. The ghost didn't show up, but it didn't stop Henry. He sent his forces to the cathedral to smash the shrine. So they smashed the shrine, they threw away all of the relics and they burned Thomas's body. But there's still one piece of him in the city. If you go to St. Thomas's Church near the cathedral, at the back they have a frame on the wall, and inside the frame is St. Thomas's finger. So you can go and see it if you want. I went to see it last week, it was weird, very weird.
Che chilling. Te la stai proprio chillando al massimo. Attenzione. Lanci la sta dormendo.
Io sì, il mio cervello si spegne.
Domani ti faccio una bella levataggio.
Off.
Alle 6. Non è un lavoro.
Facci un po' di...
Adesso bevo una birra e ci sono stirata.
Sì.
In bordo.
This flower is a local flower called a Canterbury bell. The yellow and red flower there.
Yeah, very nice.
Mandava su mamma.
Sì, proprio. Per le mamme. E faccio una cosa. Si rivede? Dai. Vieni, col sole, vieni.
Aspetta. No, ma sì.
Se devi. Vai.
Here we get the cathedral.
Giri.
Spot for a photo.
Facciamo che fare.
Oh,
Big Ben.
Spagna.
Spagna.
This is London has Big Ben. We've got Harry.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Harry, Bell Harry Tower. So this is the third cathedral that we've had. The first one was built by the Anglo-Saxons who came from Germany, Denmark. So the first people here were the Celts. They got here about 4,000 years ago. 2,000 years ago the Romans come. They ruled here for about 500 years. When they leave, the Anglo-Saxons come from Germany and they mix with the Celtic people. So they are pagans. They believe in gods of nature and spirits of trees, things like this. And one day, Pope Gregory the Great, he sees some English people in a slave market in Rome. And he asks his friends, who are these people? And his friend says, these are the Angles. And he says, no, these are not the Angles, these are angels. They must come to Jesus. So he sends St. Augustine to Canterbury to meet the king, King Ethelbert, and convert us all to Christianity. Now, I think we made that story up, but it's a good story nonetheless. Written by an 8th century monk from Northumbria. So the first cathedral St. Augustine builds looks like this. It's like flint and wood. That burns down after the Battle of Hastings in 1066. William the Conqueror comes from France, takes over the country. A year later, the cathedral burns down. It's a mystery how or why it burned down, but 3 days later, some ships came from France full of limestone. It's almost like they knew it was coming.
Always about France.
Yeah, any excuse to slack on France. So William the Conqueror built his new cathedral just to show the English who's boss. His first cathedral's in a Romanesque style. That burns down 100 years later, and then he builds this one or the next king builds this in a Gothic style. This one takes 400 years until it's complete the way we see it today. And it's been standing that way now for about 500 years, let's say. Yeah, if you have time before you go back to London, I do recommend it. Even if you just go inside, walk around the outside, it's really beautiful.
To inside.
You can walk around the outside for free, usually.
Yeah.
And then if you go inside, it's about £20, 18, £20. You can see the site where Thomas Becket was murdered. I think the floor is still purple there from the bloodstain, apparently. Yeah, so definitely worth visiting.
They didn't clean it.
I don't think so. It's too holy, right? Saint's blood. There was so you could buy a bottle of his blood for 300 years after he died, which makes you think like how much blood did he have? But next to the cathedral is a road called Butchery Lane where the butcher shops are, and so they would be butchering pigs in there all day. So we think it was pig's blood, but we don't know. And people still got miracles from the pig's blood. So we'll just get out of this way. Yeah, so this is the school now. The school was founded in the same time as the cathedral, 597. So it's the oldest school in the world, the oldest open school in the world, called the King's School. this is the art department, and this is from the students,
Really?
and then this is the music.
So they would end up just building on top of
They study here. Still study here.
Yeah, so the original Harry Potter, they wanted to film it here, but the cathedral said no, because they didn't want to support witchcraft. They thought it was the devil, so they said no. But now HBO are making a new Harry Potter, and they came again and they said yes this time.
Okay. It could be like in the movie.
Yeah. So my cousin goes to this school, and she says it's like being in Hogwarts. The main campus is attached to the cathedral. So when you're going from your maths lesson to your geography lesson, you have to walk through the cathedral. They have like their own secret doors that the public can't use and everything. Really cool. If you do want to go, it's 40,000.
How much? 40,000.
That doesn't include board. If you want the children to stay there, an extra 12,000. Depends how much you value peace and quiet. So Orlando Bloom went to this school.
Orlando Bloom.
Yeah, from Pirates of the Caribbean, Lord of the Rings. Yeah, he went to this school. So did Michael Morpurgo. He wrote a book called War Horse, and then Christopher Marlowe, who the theatre is named after. So Marlowe was born the same year as Shakespeare. He was more famous than Shakespeare at that time, but he died quite an early death. He was an open atheist and bisexual, and he liked to drink and fight and gamble. So he was very popular.
He was living the life.
Yeah, he's living the life.
Best life.
So he got into a fight over the bill of who would pay the bill in a pub in Deptford when he was 29, and he got stabbed through the eye.
But he didn't pay at the end.
No, he didn't pay. He kind of won.
That's good.
So the story isn't finished though, right? Because there's no body. We have no proof that he died. There was him, his friend Ingram Fraser, who stabbed him, and two other friends. All of them were spies for Queen Elizabeth. So they would go on spying missions in Europe, and the church didn't like him because he's an atheist bisexual. So they, some people think he faked his death. He faked his death and escaped to Italy, continued writing plays like Romeo and Juliet. So some people think that he is actually Shakespeare. Shakespeare never wrote a play until Marlowe died. All of his plays come after that. And their handwriting is very similar. And the Shakespeare that we know, he didn't go to a school like King's. He didn't go to a university at all. Marlowe went to Cambridge, and it was very often Marlowe would be surrounded by kings, queens, lords, ladies in England and in Europe. So it doesn't make sense that Shakespeare would know how to write about these people and their lives, but for Marlowe, it makes perfect sense. If you can prove it, the school will give you £1 million. So if you do win it, come back, say hi. I help you spend it. How are you doing?
It's a great story.
It is very nice. Hello.
Hello.
Just park for these guys.
Cino.
Non fare però addirittura no. Sono contagiato.
So the RAF policy is like the loan.
We don't hear a lot about this Mario. I mean, we do study Shakespeare, we do study like
Yeah. So Marlowe only wrote 6 plays, and a lot of them are like 8 hours long or more. So they've never shown a Marlowe play in the Marlowe Theatre because people can't pay attention for 8 hours. Yeah, too much TikTok.
yeah, that's TikTok. Of course.
So incredibly lucky still today.
But we paid attention to your story. Yeah?
Stuff.
We paid attention to your story. You were not paying attention to my to my TikToks.
So the English that we're speaking now This is modern English. In the past we had Middle English. Before that we had Old English, which was the Anglo-Saxon language. Very Germanic. So I'll sing the oldest poem ever written in Old English. It's at least 1,200 years old. Nu shoronerikia efenichesue meotedes mecte andis mordgethain where would fader. I forgot the words.
Peppers with the best ones, eh?
Where would fader? Trying the gillis. Ece dilectum nonum stolidei, and shop your So the story goes that there was a farmer, he couldn't read, he couldn't write, and he couldn't sing. And when it was time for everyone to sing at parties, he would always leave. And one day he had a dream, and the angel came and said to him, "You must sing at the parties." And he said, "Well, I don't have a song." He said, "Trust me, just start singing." So the next party, just start singing, and that song comes out. That's about half of the song. The bridge is too short.
Che comunque, che cazzo di via? Sta piangendo, non le ricordo. Fai ridere, cioè.
Devo...
È colpa mia.
No, no, mi stavo sentendo che cantavo. Poi sono rimasta in quel cagacco.
Sì, ho visto.
Si poteva fare una cosa.
Yeah.
Se ci sto malissimo, spiegare pronto nel caso. Che puoi fare? Perché... Mi sembra...
Sì, riprendo.
Non mi sei lasciato.
I've got time to kill. I've got time to kill. I went too fast. So you see the chair above the boats where we got on? So in England we would use this to punish criminals. So this was the toilet of the city. So we would bring our children, we would bring fruit and vegetables, rotten fruit and vegetables. We would throw them at the criminal and then dunk them in the water.
Crazy.
Sometimes 30 seconds, 1 minute, 1 minute and a half. Depends how bad your crime is and how many times you've committed that crime.
You should do that with
In Europe, we would use it to punish,
branch.
well, not punish the witch, we would use it to test the witch. So, as we established earlier, we're all witches, except for you, you're safe. So, what you do is you take the witch, put them in the chair, and dunk them in the river for 5 minutes.
That's what she will do to you.
We can
That
just,
you would do to
it's £5.
5 pounds. We can do that. We can afford it.
So, you dunk her in the river for 5 minutes. If she lives, she's a witch, and then you burn her. If she dies, good news, she's not a witch.
She would die.
Yeah, perfect.
She would die by the way.
She dies anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, if you just didn't like someone, you would say she's a witch.
She gets killed.
Vai. C'hai un barriere di provato. Se resisti,
No, io la cancio.
non sei provata.
The other thing that you could do in the past, if you were a man and you think your wife talks too much, she gossips too much, she nags you, you can pay to have her dunked until she learns to keep her mouth shut. But
That's great.
if you were a woman and your husband was an unsatisfactory lover, you could have him dunked in the river and all his friends would know because he would stink of toilet.
Sì.
You also have to share a bed with him afterwards. So, on that happy note of happy married couples, we'll end the tour. So, any final questions? Anyone need recommendations or anything?
How can you remember everything?
Just time.
Yeah,
Yeah, just time. A long time.
But you have like something written there.
I used to. Yeah, I
you
used
used
to.
to.
But now it's
Makes sense.
So just stay seated while I do the chain. Yeah.
No, io non.
Te sei il bagno. Io mi vedo vergogna della Francia.